So I want to touch on something that actually both you and Tom said earlier, which is like compatibility. You talked about things working together. So, you know, I guess the question is like, if I've already got Cisco hardware, for example, I got Cisco switches, you know, am I SOL here, or do I have the ability to branchify my tree?
Yeah, you know, the whole SD branch story is really using that common secure centric. But just because you have one vendor in there, you have an existing investment. We certainly play well with others, and you can incorporate all the other parts of the SD branch. And so, you know, we certainly integrate in and adhere to most of the standards out there. So
basically, you don't need SonicWall switches to be able to deploy SD branch, but the benefit of using those gives you a little bit of increased functionality, right, Scott?
Right. Because the whole point of SD branch is I log into one pane of glass and I can manage everything. So here I can log into most things, and then I have to log into my you know, in this example, my Cisco switch separately. So I have to have another secure path, a remote access, and that kind of stuff. So being able to do all of that, and you know, that's where the benefit.
But you know, I think that the ability to play nice to other kids in playground matters, right? Because as you know, a lot of times, you know, upgrade cycles aren't all at once. Sometimes they're linear, a bit of a journey, right? So people can like incorporate this hardware as their budgets and upgrade cycles kind of allow, is what I'm hearing, and it's not going to be really a big drawdown. Yeah,
actually, you nailed it. It is a journey. You know, most people can't forklift upgrade their entire network, and so it's adding those pieces in as you can, and at least having that vision of where I'm headed, that ultimately I'm going to be able to you know, again, one ring to rule them all, right? For those Tolkien fans. So we want to make sure that, but yeah, sometimes it can take some time.
We got a question. Sir, we got a question here. Sorry to cut you off there. Are SonicWall switches the same as the Dell Power Connect line that Dell discontinued? They look nearly identical.
Yeah, we're not OEMing their X, you know, Power Connect X series switches, but you know, they're similar. Some of the programming and how the SonicWall handles the switch compared to some of the Power Connect is similar. So those people who have experience doing that they'll actually be able to just intuitively kind of run on the SonicWall switches. So some of those lessons learned are incorporated. So you'll see some flexibility, and you can even use the Dell switches with the SonicWall and manage them all if you happen to have that investment.
Cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the requirements that SonicWall looked at when they were coming up with their SD branch solution. What went into that?
Yeah, it's really, you know, trying to create those that intuitive interface. You know, SonicWall has always been known for an easy interface. You know, that's part of why we're so prevalent in the SMB world. You know, it's surprising sometimes when people look at all the different features, how sophisticated it can get. But really looking to create an easy configuration that is intuitive, where people can come in, they authorize the switch, and then you're just clicking on ports and going. So it's getting that easy, intuitive face and offering the quality. You know, a good, you know, speed. You know, a lot of our competitors at the branch level, the switch is literally half as fast as our 24 port. I think it actually has 128 gig throughput. So it's really, you know, where a lot of them are 50 something. So really having that ease of use and the tight integration is really what we were looking for. And we had kind of a hole in our line with not offering a line of switches. And so now we're kind of rounding out that branch network. So we're not forcing our partners to go out and find a third-party switch to do that. You know, so you have something that's meant to work with it. It's kind of like you can add a whole bunch of different stereo parts, but you can't have that one remote to rule them all, right? So we want to have everything that's meant to work together and by design.
So I got a question, because you mentioned about third-party switches. And then there's a couple of questions from attendees that I also want to get to. So let's start with, just because I'm curious here, you don't want your partners to go out and grab third-party switches. Totally makes sense. So I guess the question I have is, I keep saying that. I guess the question I have is, how does SonicWall solution, your SD branch solution, compare to its peers?
I think we're right in there as far as and especially with the new web platform that's going to be coming out. So I think we're, the best is yet to come. There's still evolution coming out. Having everything work together, and we're not OEMing it from 3 different places. It's actually a SonicWall switch. So I think you'll see as everything comes together. And some of the new products that are coming out here soon, really there's some ease of use and performance that I think most partners are going to be looking for. The branches keep getting faster and faster.
Right, and SonicWall switches are faster than a lot of the competition as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We looked at a lot of our access levels switches, and I think there's what is the use case, right, for our switch? They are access level switches. So the routing's still being done by the firewall for all the different VLANs, that kind of stuff. So you're getting, so going through and making sure you have a max of 4 that you can daisy chain together. So really that's, you're looking at about 200 nodes and down as the best case scenario for us. So I guess as we design them, we design them for that 200 node down branch to be able to accommodate those size networks.
So interestingly, one of the questions we have is, what's the best business case for the SonicWall switch? And I'm guessing it's the 200 node or less application.
Correct.
Okay. Some comments from the gallery. Please add a router with real BGP.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's an ongoing discussion. Hey, so I hear from VARs and MSPs all the time about deploying and managing SD-WAN and the complexity involved. A lot of manufacturers and vendors have made their SD branch solutions so complicated that they're not doing it. So SonicWall has an ease of deployment and an ease of use that single pane of glass, but there's also zero touch and things. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, all of our newer firewalls, everything from 6513, zero touch. So you basically set it up, you register it in my SonicWall. It's a single checkbox to turn on zero touch. When that firewall comes online and grabs the DHCP address, it automatically inserts it into the cloud portal. And then you can actually configure it, go ahead and apply your different global configs across. You can do firmware upgrades to make sure that everything is ready to go. So having all of that ease of use and being able to roll and deploy rather quickly really leads to that ease of use.
Sounds like either Cam or I could probably do that with a little bit of training.
Maybe you, Tom. I'm not so sure about Cam, but so
remember, I used to work at ChannelBytes.